Hey Eagle fans, it's EaglefanKarl. This is going to be my preview and prediction video for tomorrow night's game against the LA Rams. And what can you say, Ugh? It's just been one of those years where it seems like everything that could go wrong is going wrong. And once again, we face a season where we're going to be finishing it without Carson Wentz. But that's okay. We've got this guy coming back. Seriously though, looking at their stats, their offensive stats are just scary. To say they're balanced is an understatement. They are top 10 across the board in every category. Overall, points, running, passing, you name it, they're in the top 10, and it's pick your poison with them. Do you want to die a slow death by letting Todd Gurley run all over you, or do you want to die a fast death by stopping Gurley but letting them throw over the top of you? So that's sort of where we're at. Coupling this with the problem then is also the fact that the Eagles defense continues to slide every week. Our passing defense is now down to the 30th ranked passing defense in the league. No surprise given how banged up our secondary is. So really, it's just sort of, looking at their offense against our defense is really sort of scary. Another part of this that really gets scary in terms of statistics is if you look at the points that they're averaging per game on offense, we've only scored more than that once this season, and that was that Giants game on a Thursday night early in the year. We've struggled to get over 30 points. That was the only time we did it. But 28 is, I think, the next highest amount we've had. But generally, we've been scoring in the 20s, even low 20s, most of the season. So, the question is, can we even win at a shootout? And I even find it hard to believe that we could do that. That's how we beat them last year when we played out there in LA. And even with Carson Wentz, that would be a bit of a stretch this year to try and win a shootout kind of a game. And now we've got to rely on Nick Foles. So, Nick Folian, do you think you can help us out with this?
I don't even have any good skills.
All right, well, that doesn't give us a lot of confidence. So let's think about something else. Maybe we could potentially try and run the ball. And play up sort of a ball control, get Josh Adams involved a lot, get Darren Sproles involved, sort of keep the ball, on offense, win the time of possession battle, and that will keep their offense off the field. That's potentially a good strategy, right, Nick Folian?
That's a pretty good idea.
All right, so maybe that's the one we go with. Maybe that's the strategy we can go with to try and win this game. But overall, I think it's going to be really tough for us to try and win this thing. Maybe you sort of get lucky with turnovers or something like that. But that's the turnover differential between these two teams this year, so that's unlikely to happen. The Rams aren't a team that turns the ball over a lot, and we're not a team that's been forcing a lot of turnovers, so I think that's going to be really hard to do as well. The more likely way we win this game is it's just sort of one of those fluke things that happens during a season where things don't really make much sense. Where a team rallies around a backup kind of a situation and really is able to sort of play with a lot more and play above their heads. And it sort of becomes a fluke type of a situation. Earlier this year, no one would have dreamed that Buffalo was going to go into Minnesota and beat them, and that happened. So those kind of things occasionally do happen in this league, where all out of the blue, some team wins a game that you don't expect. So that's always the possibility. The problem you've got is the Rams are coming off a loss, so they're certainly going to be wanting to do better than they did last week. They really struggled last week offensively against the Bears. They're not going to do that against our defense. They're not going to struggle like they did against the Bears last week. So that's something that I don't think is going to happen. And as a result, I think they're going to want to, sort of make a statement that was sort of a fluke game for them. So the more likely way it goes is, we sort of struggle to keep them from scoring. I think we could probably put some points up on the board. Nick Foles is good enough, obviously, to win a Super Bowl. He's good enough to score points against this defense, which is average. Certainly it has some stars on their team, but they're pretty much an average team when you look at their statistics. So I think that the Eagles will be able to put some points on the board. But overall, I just don't see a way that we're going to be able to win this thing. For that reason, my prediction is going to be Rams 34, Eagles 20. Let me know in the comments below what you think, though. Did you see a different score? Do you think the Eagles could win this game? Do you think that we're going to get absolutely blown out? Hey, Nick Foles, what do you think of my prediction?
This is pretty much the worst video ever made.
I guess I should have expected that. Anyway, leave your comments below. I'll check in after the game, let you know what I think. Until then, fly Eagles fly.